All right, killing them softly.
Welcome, everyone, to the next episode of How I Met Your Mother.
Stupid. Killing them softly is what we watched today.
On this episode of Dragon Ball Z, Goku talks a lot. You're Goku. Talk.
If I'm Goku, who would you be?
Vegeta.
Vegeta. All right, quick answer.
Always in your shadow. Because you have such a large...
All these jokes. Hey, did you like this movie, Killing Them Softly? Where can people find it? They can find it on Netflix. And what's your broad strokes review? No spoilers or anything. We'll get into it as it goes on. We'll give you a fair warning. But overall, I think we both really liked it. It's funny. You can find it on Netflix. It's on there. It's a 2012 movie, and so it's like a little bit older. I thought it was older than that because it takes place in like 2008.
Yeah, you got Obama ads and...
Obama versus McCain, and then Bush is on this. He's never shown or anything, but he's
his voice
on the radio,
his
on the...
addresses, I guess.
Yeah.
His address for post 9/11 stuff, right?
Post 9/11 stuff, and then the economic problems that they had in the 2006, 2007.
That led to the great millennial recession.
Yep. It didn't hit millennials that much.
Well, it was just during their lifetime.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, all of us remember it.
The first one of their lifetime. Many more to come.
Yeah, definitely heading towards one now.
Well, they're cyclical. We'll get one now. We'll get one in another 10 years, and 10 years after that.
Yeah. But overall, this was like we had both actually seen it before. Like, I know I've seen it.
I didn't recognize it on title. That's
it's not a title that stands out. Killing Them Softly.
It's a soft title.
What does that mean? Like, nobody knows. Oh, that's the Brad Pitt is a hitman movie. Like, nobody thinks that.
Oh, yeah, no one thinks that. I was gonna say most people think of Killing Them Softly. You think of the lyrics of the song "Killing Me Softly."
Yeah.
By
I won't know.
Christina Aguilera. No. Andy. I don't remember.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Killing me softly.
Do you know who it was directed by?
No. I have these extensive notes. I forgot to write the director.
Let's give him a shout
I'm
out.
just kidding.
Yeah, you got it.
Andrew Dominik.
Andrew Dominik.
Written and directed.
I love a written and directed.
Written and directed. You love one. Why don't you? If you love it so much, why don't you marry it?
You can't marry a concept.
I beg to differ. I'm married to myself, and I'm a concept.
I really like this movie. I liked the character development. It's sort of confusing in the beginning because they give you a lot of characters, and our main character is Brad Pitt is shown hardly at all in the first, would you say, 30 minutes or so, which is strange.
Yeah.
Because I already kind of like meta watching this movie. I know that they have Brad Pitt. He's on the front cover. I know I've seen it before. I know it follows his story. But when you're watching it, you're being set up with the situation that then they bring him in and he has to fix it. So he's kind of a fixer for the mob. But on the face of it, that doesn't sound that interesting. It's how they developed and got to the point.
Fixers are some of the most interesting people.
You're right. You're right. Like Pulp Fiction, they brought in the Wolf. Is that his name? Harvey Keitel. It's like, I think fast, I talk fast. You listen to me, we'll get yourselves out of this situation. So yeah.
Well, I would say fixers are more fun than like the mob boss or the little gangsters or lieutenants or whatever. They all have like jobs that they have to do. Whereas a fixer kind of comes in and it's like, all right, what's going on here? Let me apply my critical thinking and smooth this over for whoever I'm working for. You know, mob boss, rival gang.
Yeah.
Personal reasons.
And it's fun to learn the dynamics. Like who reports to who. Like, because kind of towards the beginning of the movie, and we recommend that you watch this movie before you watch our video on it, but
But
if
that's
you
not exclusive.
it's not
If
exclusive.
you don't
If
want to watch the movie,
if
you
you've
can
already
watch
seen
us.
it, or if you don't care, we'll guide you through it, and we recommend you watch it because we tend to only talk about really pretty good movies on this channel, stuff that we like.
Generally.
Yeah, if we have bad stuff, we'll say it, but it's not often. And we've been hitting a string of awesome movies lately. We got Looper, we got Inception, we got
I was going to do a soundboard, but I won't do it.
yeah.
I'm going to strain myself.
Yeah, but so the beginning of the movie, it's like this one guy makes a plan and he tells a backstory about the local economy, the crime economy, is based on a set of card games that happen, like a weekly card game, and there's a lot of cash going around these tables. So this guy has this bright idea to. They tell a backstory of this one gangster who like kind of runs it. This guy stuck his own place up. Like he runs the games that happen, and he hired hitmen to come in and steal the money so that, and then later on, everyone likes him and he's all drinking with his buddies, tells everybody, I did that. So everyone's like, they let it go, but it sets this thing up of who can you trust, and this one character that we're going to go rob his place and the mob's going to think that he's robbing himself again. And they see an opportunity and they exploit it. And the reason they exploit it is because this is 2008. We're heading towards a financial crisis.
No one has money.
No one's got money. Let's steal from the local game. And the problem with that is, this occurs. You take money and trust out of the local economy, then all crime shuts down. Then the mob bosses can't make the money that selling arms, drugs,
Hookers.
whatever, like all just underground stuff, right? Because there's no cash available because people are nervous about cash exchanges. And there's some level of, we can see who the executives are. We can see who the hitmen are, the fixers who come in and fix the problems. And then we could see the low-level guys. And there's an analogy to be made about what happens in Wall Street, with the guys up top making the decisions, the guys at the bottom exploiting without knowing the effects that they're going to have on the entire economic system.
They're
And
not taking things into perspective. Yeah.
I loved that you've got many layers of problem solving and guys trying to fix their own issues with their own motivations, not realizing it has other effects. And I like that dynamic and the way people communicate. They would use a lot of strong language and a lot of but they're trying to communicate to each other on a business level. They're trying to make deals, or they're trying to motivate people to do things like get on the ground, or I need you to tell me the truth. And they're trying to use intimidation tactics, some of which work, some of which don't, to get what they want. And the same shit happens in Washington. The same shit happens in New York City. Just
Wherever
people have
there's an
suits on,
hierarchy. Yeah.
and they go to
Different language.
they go to banquets, or they go to dinners, they go to balls, or they go to nice, fancy. But it's the same.
It's much more nuanced in that sense.
It's the same
in
dirty
those
shit
scenes.
happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do you have any thoughts on anything? I think I gave a good overview of what the movie.
Nope.
No. All right. Yeah.
This is actually the wrong page. These are my notes for this.
Cool.
Another 4 lines.
Awesome.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about? Anything?
The movie. Hopefully.
Which other movie?
No, this movie. I didn't watch another movie. I just have some basic facts here.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, Ben Mendelsohn, James Gandolfini, Ray Liotta, Richard Jenkins, Scoot McNairy. It's one of these. Scoot and Ben have been coming up recently. Obviously, this is 2012, and then soon after that, Scoot did something. Burn After.
Scoot and Ben Mendelsohn were both the low level criminals that stuck up the game.
Yeah.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
getting myself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's the first two? Some of the first 2 characters we see on screen.
You almost think that they're going to be our main characters that we're
Right.
sticking with,
Right.
and that changes pretty fast.
Yeah. So their names are Frankie and Russell, and so they're meeting on the curb or whatever. And so these are the first 2 guys you see. But interestingly enough, their careers didn't really start with this movie, but I wouldn't have recognized them back then. Now they're very iconic.
Yes.
Ben Mendelsohn has been in
The Outsider.
The Outsider. He's in Star Wars. He's in another shitty. I didn't like the show, but looking back, I can see why he was very well known for that piece. And then Scoot McNairy.
What was the show?
I don't remember what it's called.
Okay. Was it on like Netflix or anything?
It's on Netflix. He's in the Keys, and he's got a family who's got like a.
I like him. Did you know he was Australian?
Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
So he plays an Australian in this movie, and I was like, wow, he's got a really good accent. Turns out he's Australian. His American accent is actually the really good one, which I didn't notice watching all the stuff I've seen him in.
All the stuff that you've seen.
And
yeah.
that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Like I always like that. Dude, people that are in England and Australia that come over and do an American accent and do it very convincingly, I have respect for them. It's like, you know,
Not the girl from Game of Thrones. What's her name? Tall redhead.
she's married to the singer.
Yikes.
Is it Jonas?
She's married to a Jonas brother?
Yeah, she's married to a Jonas brother.
Sorry.
That's Phoenix, right? Dark Phoenix?
Yeah, Dark
whatever?
Phoenix. Well, in that movie, her American accent is
Sophia something?
Sophia. Oh yeah, you're on it. Sophia Little, Sophia Long, Sophia.
She's a babe though.
She's cute.
She's cute.
Sophia Vargas. No.
Nope.
It's a Mexican big boob tit woman.
Is she Mexican? I thought she was like
Colombian. I think she's Colombian. That's racist.
That's racist. We just like her.
And then it also has Trevor Long, and people recognize Trevor Long from Ozark. He plays Cade. He's in this movie too.
Okay.
I was
Cool.
scrambling around in the cast, noticed some names.
Good cast in this movie.
Yeah. One of my favorites is Richard Jenkins.
Who's that?
He's the driver, or the messenger, I guess.
The messenger. Could you describe that character more?
He's the guy that Brad Pitt's talking to in the car the whole time.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he plays like a city council.
Yeah, like
His
his credits are literally driver, like not the driver or not driver with a last name. It's driver.
He was a
like,
mysterious
what?
character.
But no,
A little bit.
you know what he is. You know he's the messenger for the boardroom and being like, all right, I'm the go-between. I'm just a middleman between
He talks between the
a
city.
killer and the mob bosses.
Yes.
Yeah, or the financial
Do you think
part
that's
of
real?
the mob bosses. That there's a middleman.
Yeah. Do you think the mob is as organized as
Oh yeah.
what we see in
They
this
have
type
to
of
be.
movie?
All the progress of the
Do you
past
think Orlando has
80 years of crime fighting and drug blah 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 and all of the stuff that we've done in order to keep mobs and gang and violence and all that shit off the streets? They've figured out a way to be like, oh yeah, we can still exist.
You think that's present in every city?
Yeah.
Like ours?
Yeah.
In Orlando, we have mob bosses that.
I mean, they're not as big and
No.
high profile, and they're not as.
But you're saying there's got to be.
There's someone who reports
I like that we
to
don't
their
know,
boss
though.
as the Orlando mob boss.
I guess so. They got to get. I mean, it's definitely the business is there. We gotta. The demand's there. We gotta get drugs to people. We gotta launder the money. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be infrastructure to do all those things if you want to do it right. And if one of those people gets whacked or gets arrested or something, there's a void and you got to fill in.
Right.
And I love stories like that. I just love everything about. I like because I'm really interested by business, and this is business, but the black market.
The dark side.
And you have different rules, and it's not no rules, it's different rules. And Brad Pitt actually talks about that with the driver. Like, there's ways of doing this. Like, you got to bring certain people in, talk to them a certain way. There's a sense of honor among thieves.
Yeah. You kill him. You don't just beat him up. That's not going to send a message. Then everyone else on the street is going to think that they can rob a place too. Like, no. That's how the mob.
And he
the
mentions
mob is very black and white of like.
the perception of if you did it matters because everyone thinks that the guy rigged his own game.
Mickey
Trapman.
No, Marky. Sorry,
Marky Trapman.
Yeah.
The guy who, if you've seen the movie, you'll know who we're talking about. Who set
Ray,
up his own.
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta.
Yeah, the guy who played in Goodfellas.
I'm
as
gonna
the
name my
kid.
daughter that. Ray Liotta.
Hey,
One word.
it's not a bad name. He's an old enough actor that it's
He'll be dead before.
yeah, or he'll be like. older.
I also wrote here Andrew Dominik also has Chopper. Never heard of it. Never seen it. He has The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford in '07.
So that was directed. Are you talking about the director?
Yeah.
So he made that movie, and
Yeah.
that movie was good.
I haven't seen that one. The
It's got Brad
Assassination of
Pitt.
Jesse James? Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, oh, well, how haven't I seen this either? But I think in that time I wasn't really paying attention to too many movies. So
That one and 310 to Yuma.
I've seen that one.
That one's good.
Good. And then since he's done this in 2012, he's done One More Time with Feeling. It's kind of like a drama documentary about, or it's a movie about some sort of artist and his struggle.
Okay.
Didn't look interesting
Okay.
to me, but I'll probably check it out in the next 20 or 40 years. So check
he's
back
a good
later.
director, and
Yeah.
he's wrote a good movie. Although I do think this movie, Killing Him Softly, went under the radar. I don't
Oh, yeah.
think people.
Most people didn't like it in theaters, so that's,
I was looking
they
up
saw
YouTube
that.
reviews. The last one is like from 2012. Some
Yeah.
guy went on his screen and talked about it for 6 minutes. It's like, I guess this movie.
Yeah,
We're trying to bring awareness.
Netflix snatched it up for a cheap price, and now everyone's like, "Oh, it's not that bad." But
I
some
don't
people
think
still hate
people
it.
going through Netflix are necessarily clicking on this one to watch it, but they might.
They're narrowing down the options they have left. There's 10 days in. We got 20
We're all
days.
quarantined. We're not watching everything. Yeah.
And his next movie coming out is Blonde,
Okay.
starring
I don't know. Is it Charlize?
Anna de Armas.
Is she your
Your
favorite?
favorite. Your favorite. Not my favorite. It's your favorite. You were
she's-
raving about her on the other episode.
Yeah, she's my favorite.
Sorry, Jolie. Not to bring it back around, but
Yeah.
you got to stop going so hard into these chicks, dude. You're going to live to regret some of the words you say.
No, it's
Phrasing.
you're allowed to call other women pretty.
Cinematography, which I enjoyed in this movie. Like, there's a really cool scene
Yeah.
with the actual hit that
We can get into spoiler territory.
Brad Pitt pulls on a character. Yeah.
Yeah.
He pretty much pulls up to the car, shoots, and you see it go into slow motion of bullets coming,
So,
breaking through glass.
Could you
and blah,
tell
blah.
me why, or tell us why Brad Pitt likes to Killing Him Softly? Why the movie is called that?
Can I tell people why?
Yeah, tell
Should
me
I?
why.
So the term killing them softly means pretty much that you kill them and they're not really like aware or hypertense or shitting themselves or begging for mercy or crying or all the bad things. And there are various ways that you can beg for your life or say the 7 prayers to heaven while your gun is in your face. But Brad Pitt doesn't, or
He doesn't like that energy.
Jackie doesn't like to do his hitman job in that style. So he likes to jerk them around a little bit, play a little game like, hey, come on, do this thing with me. It'll help. It'll get you out of trouble. And then they're like, all right, cool. And then they finish the job and bang, right in the back of your head so that you're unaware, kind of a little bit more peaceful, a little
In a
bit
weird
more
way,
respect.
he's kind of a good guy for doing that.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, oh, that's kind of a decent. Like, he knows this guy's got to get whacked. He's got to get killed, but he's gonna do it in such a way that the guy doesn't even know.
I would so much rather be getting in a car with James Bond, going on this hill, passenger seat, towards the ocean. There's a huge drop-off cliff, and get ejected and not know that I'm going to be ejected, versus him just putting me up against the wall and being like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bang.
No anticipation.
Yep.
No.
Let it be a surprise. I like
Yeah.
surprises. Kill me softly. So yeah, that's that. And then the cinematographer is Greg Fraser. He hasn't done any big things. Vice, Bright, Zero Dark 30, but he did Foxcatcher, which we both enjoyed. And then he's working on Dune and the Batman. So that's why
Cool.
I wasn't supposed to mention that, but whatever.
Maybe we'll talk about it later.
Maybe it'll come up. They spent 15 mil on this and they got 40.
Yeah, this did seem like a very inexpensive movie.
And the production company was Weinstein.
Rest in peace.
Long silence.
You know, he got COVID in jail. Harvey Weinstein got corona in jail. Yeah, his life sucks.
Yeah. It's a downhill fast.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it, bud.
I was reading some of the views, and do you think there was too much profanity in this movie for America today, and in a way 2012 as well?
Yeah.
You think it was too much profanity in this movie?
Not for
too
me
much?
personally. I don't care.
We didn't give a fuck. A
Nope.
flying fuck.
Don't give a fuck.
I just wanted to hear you say fuck.
Don't give a fuck. I don't care about language. I have to like censor myself and realize that, oh, other people actually like care about that. And I get it. You know, it's not proper. It's not polite. I don't do it around polite people, or, you know, someone that
Polite
just,
high society.
yeah, but I don't care at all. I don't care if anyone uses language.
Say it
doesn't-
out your window. I don't give a fuck.
No, that'd be rude. I don't live in a neighborhood where other people are doing that.
my money and I want it now.
No, but
J.G. Wentworth.
there was too much profanity in this. There was a lot there, but I think it was a communication style. So the dialogue itself was not.
This
anything
isn't a movie about people who
awesome.
are speaking properly.
No, the dialogue was not tight like Looper. Like Looper had really good. Each line had something that was. It almost had two meanings, and that's a style of neo-noir films. Is they say something and it has a double meaning, and that's really cool and kind of an air of mystery to the characters. Here it is a hitman trying to talk to another hitman, or some guy trying to send a message to another guy, and it's lots of get in the fucking car, fuck this, fuck that, like just kind of ad-libbing the way that they would speak to each other, and it was the style in which they're delivering it. It's very rough, very gruff, and did I think it had too much profanity? It's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be jarring, and a movie that did that, something like this very recently that I don't think you've seen yet, is Uncut Gems. It's the same thing. You're made uncomfortable by how seedy the characters are and just
Interesting.
gross.
So the world is ready a little bit more today than it was in 2012. So I have a feeling that people are going to enjoy this movie going forward, as opposed to 8 years ago, almost 8 years ago, when this movie came out. So I think this will do a little bit better. Netflix,
I hope so.
Netflix will definitely make its money back in the viewership of this. Seems like a lot of the bad reviews were because they wanted action.
Not an action-packed movie.
Yeah, like I didn't go watch the trailer, which is something I should do. I'll put notes to do
we
it
don't
for
like to
next
watch
time.
trailers before we watch movies. We like to watch trailers after and see how they marketed it.
Yeah, and I feel like if I had seen the trailer for this, I would have been like, nah, we're not gonna watch this one
Nope.
today, because
You're exactly
I
right.
would have remembered that I'd seen it already, and I would have wanted probably to do something else. Like, oh, I thought you had it. Yeah, Reservoir Dogs. We should maybe do that one next.
Reservoir Dogs.
Or what was the other one?
Was it Tarantino?
No, I don't. I know you mentioned Kill Bill, but
Eventually, we'll get to all Tarantino.
yeah, that was. Oh well, forget about it.
There's
but that
Baby
was-
Driver, Whiplash. Those are on the docket. Whiplash was the one I was kind of pushing for.
Yeah, you never remember the ones you push for when it's time to sit down. You're like, oh, all right, we're starting this one. The last review that I read as I was clicking away from the window, someone said worst movie ever made.
It's definitely not.
Chill on the hyperbole, bro.
Yeah. I can get a lot of people not liking it.
Yeah.
But
It's not for everyone. It's not a wide appeal general audience. Obviously, rated R, so you cut your audience by 75%, and then people saying and going watching it after they see the trailers and they're like not expecting what it was, and that usually leads to people not enjoying it, which leads to a negative review, and that kind of rolls with the tide, and everyone's like, oh well, I'm not going to go spend the money and go to see it in theaters. So it's unfortunate. Give it a chance. Don't listen to us. Don't listen to a fucking word we say, and go watch it for yourself and decide whether or not you
I
like
think
it.
people would be able to. I think what gets people liking movies that they wouldn't ordinarily like, because everyone already knows I would like that movie. I'm going to go see it. It's, I don't know about that movie, but these guys say that it's good, and here's why they think movies are good. that somehow gets you to think in a different way. And that's sort of the word of mouth effect, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't listen to
You just want our perspective to give you a different way of viewing,
or anyone's perspective, but someone that you
but
kind
specifically ours. You only want our perspective on life.
yeah. You see what I mean, though, right? Like, it's I wouldn't call it the best movie ever, but like it's got enough themes and enough like good parts to it that it definitely is just a good movie. Like I would give it a 5.
Ooh, we
Yeah.
finally got a rating. 20 minutes.
5 out of
into-
5.
20 minutes into our video. We have a rating.
You said 9 out of 10 yesterday,
I did.
but it's not.
It
Maybe
hasn't. It hasn't. I slept on it. I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough.
Wasn't a smash, but it was definitely enjoyable. Like I was definitely kind of glued to the screen of like, I don't remember specifically what happens here. I want to find out again.
Yeah.
So, and I think they're really interesting stories. Like the way that, who is it? James Gandolfini tells his stories. The way Brad Pitt tells his stories. The way the interaction between Ben Mendelsohn and Scott McNairy, like just their whole like, one of our favorite scenes was them sitting and doing
So,
opiates in the couch, and they're
Ben
like
Mendelsohn,
in and out.
the Australian,
So fucking good at being a high guy.
he loads himself up with IV heroin, and he is in and out of consciousness. And the way they have 2 shots. Well, they have 4 or 5 shots in this scene, and it lasts like 10 or 15 minutes long. And he is going in and out of consciousness, trying to tell a story. He starts off strong. He tells a story. It's kind of funny. They have cutbacks, flashbacks. Good story, right? And then he starts to fade in, fade out.
He starts to hit him, bro.
Yeah. And what I liked is in that shot, he's smoking a cigarette, and the cigarette is like just full of fire, like more than any normal cigarette, just full of smoke, I should say. And they did this effect where it's both coming from he's just holding it there, unable to smoke it. He's just like totally like out of it in a heroin, like just.
What does that feel like? You ever tried heroin before?
Nope, never have, never will. Stay away from that shit. Wash your hands. Stay inside. Don't do drugs. COVID. And then they have this effect that there's smoke coming from like an ashtray or something that's off screen. So there's just smoke happening all around this scene, and it's over exaggerated. But it makes for such a good visual.
I don't think it's over exaggerated. I think they tried to go for as close to the real deal as like this is what someone who's tripping their balls off of heroin is like trying to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like
And
that's what 2 fucking stoners, or not stoners, 2
Just-
fucking drug addicts
Yeah.
sitting in their house that's falling apart around them, and they just pulled the syringe out. You have like a conversation, and the conversation consists of like 10 words between the 2 people over 5 minutes, and then they pass the fuck out. Like,
But the thing is, what he's saying is super impactful to
Yeah.
the story because he's saying
you're
he
sitting
told.
there on the edge, like, finish. Tell him. Tell
And
him.
he's struggling. Yeah.
You got a contract on your head, idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Tense.
that guy, he played it so well. Yeah. He looked. I mentioned this to you, like makeup and just this guy looked like trash. I mean, he looked. Ben Mendelsohn, who stars in HBO's The Outsider, which is like another good series that's worth watching on HBO. I think they made a bunch of shows free lately, but that he's a good actor, and he plays this just scruffy guy. He's sweaty. He's
Ruffian.
just
A real Australian ruffian.
ruffian. Yeah. I also I want to talk about this character, Gandolfini, who was in The Sopranos, played.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, he died at like age 56 or something, not like a couple of years. I think this was his last movie that ever came out that he starred in. And so the character he played was a hitman who comes into town to whack these 2-3 guys. And he's talking with Brad Pitt because Brad Pitt sort of calls him in, and they're just two, mano y mano, like, I'm a hitman, you're a hitman. The guy, Brad Pitt is playing the younger guy, and Gandolfini's playing like the older mob boss. I've been doing this for a while. I know what I'm doing. But he's drunk the entire movie, keeps drinking, like overly so, getting sloppy. He all he's doing is calling prostitutes. He hasn't left his hotel room in 3 days. He's playing like this, like a man at the end of his rope.
Yep.
Like his
Struggling
wife
with
is
his wife. Yep.
filing for divorce, and he wants to say yes, and all this shit, right? Like, which is kind of a sad tribute to the actor himself, who was in The Sopranos for a bunch of years, and obviously overweight, probably had a drug problem. I don't know the details super well, but this role in the last movie that he played in 2012 is kind of impactful for. That's sort of the end of this guy's life, and it was good while it lasted, but he's not gonna be a healthy 85-year-old surrounded by his family and die peacefully in his sleep. Like, he's going out
Like
with
me.
a bang.
Going out with a bang.
Yeah. And so I thought that was kind of a nice, not nice. It was kind of poetic in its own way.
Interesting. Yeah.
So,
Little foreshadowing
and I love
for
Brad
IRL.
Pitt talking to him. Brad Pitt on screen has this charisma where he's the best actor in that way of them all, in my opinion. I think so. The way he's, his little hand movements, the way he delivers certain lines, he's just got a way about him that my eyes are like glued, and I think he always just acts like such a cool guy, and I wonder if he's like that in real life, or if this is all just an act. But it's charisma. It's electric. It's entertaining. It's Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, Ocean's 13.
He's a cool guy in those.
7, playing the young detective. This movie, just tons of them. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Troy. Yeah, all different types of characters. I don't think he plays
Benjamin
the
Button.
same character. Oh, I loved him in Benjamin Button. It's just, if he comes out with a movie, I will go see it just for him.
World War Z.
Yeah, I think I watched half of that. I gotta rewatch that, especially because we're about to live it here in the next couple weeks.
No, we already lived Contagion.
Yeah.
We were living Contagion. Go check out that episode on
Yeah.
the channel.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anything else? Any other thoughts? Any little tidbits?
Nah, let's talk about something different.
But man, that was what a great movie.
Great movie overall. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about something different.
As we usually do.
Always. So what you been up to? Playing anything interesting?
Games, watching movies, watching TV shows, finishing Ozark. Rewatch that. It's been now a week and a half, more than 10 days.
Have you started season 3 of Ozark?
Quarantine? Yeah,
It just dropped like a week ago.
yeah. I'm halfway through.
Okay, let's not even talk about it because I haven't seen it. Nope.
Okay.
All right, good.
You're welcome.
Thank you. What movies have you been watching besides
The
Kill
one we
Himself?
just talked about.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a movie since.
I watched Mandy today.
Oh yeah, the Nicolas Cage redhead,
Crazy movie.
red-blooded face man.
It's a crazy movie. It's an LSD nightmare.
I mean, LSD is already a nightmare, so
LSD's not a nightmare.
it's a waking nightmare.
I don't think so.
That's what I've heard. I've never done drugs.
Neither have I. But if I had, I don't think it'd be a nightmare.
Okay. You're putting that expectation on it.
Yeah.
Well, whatever you do, don't take LSD and watch Mandy.
You do not want to watch this movie if you are...
Right in the beginning.
Oh, it is.
You drop it, or whatever they call it. I don't know, because I'm not familiar with that substance. But you take it, or you start tripping or whatever, and then the first thing you need to do is watch Mandy. That's my recommendation for everyone.
It's a great film, but it's like very 80s metal inspired. So his wife at the beginning of the movie is like reading these fantasy novels from the 80s, and they're very like the opening song is Starless from King Crimson, which is a good song from a band I like. And they're like an 80s jam band, I guess you could say, but they're very like mystical. Mystical. They inspired Led Zeppelin, or maybe Led Zeppelin inspired King Crimson. King Crimson inspired Tool. Tool inspired Chevelle. It's kind of like how all these bands go together that I like. And then Nicolas Cage is he's just a crazy man. He's doing these crazy offshoot indie films.
We threw those stats out a couple episodes ago about him. In the last 10 years, he's done 30 or 20.
Yeah, it was like 25 independent films in the past 10 years.
25, yeah.
Something ridiculous like that. And some dude made a Reddit post where he watched all of them and rated them. And like 15 of them are crap. But
yeah.
there's
Couple
10,
of 10s, couple of 1s.
Yeah.
Actually, I only saw one 0, and the only words he put were Jesus fucking Christ, and he moved on. I thought that was funny.
You almost like want to go watch that movie.
Not even gonna go into. We're not even gonna give you the basic Wikipedia plot.
Yeah, he didn't summarize it at all.
Get that shit out.
What do you think people? All right, not what people. What do you like about people who review movies?
What do I like about people who review movies? Nothing.
Yeah, like
I don't like anything about them.
So you don't watch.
I don't even like myself. Especially, I don't love myself. So, no, but I don't really watch people who talk about movies.
It's funny when you self-deprecate humor and it like doesn't hit. That shit makes it extra funny.
There's a 0 above. 0 points for Corey. Still didn't score one with that. And this beard, man. Quarantine really.
I don't think I'm gonna cut my hair till quarantine's over.
It's a quarantine beard, quarantine haircut.
Are you bored of the quarantine already?
Bust out of our apartment after it's over. Full beard. What year is it?
Robin Williams.
Is the nuclear apocalypse over?
You wouldn't know if there was a nuclear apocalypse because you've been inside.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everyone's coming out and they're like, what happened?
What else you been doing?
That's it.
That's it?
Really really monotonous last 10 days, I tell you that.
Yeah. And you don't watch any movie reviewers at all. Like, I watch Red Letter Media. I watch some guys talk about movies. I like behind the scenes. I was watching behind the scenes of Wolf of Wall Street.
Was it like one of those things on the set, kind of we're recording while they're recording type things?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, gotcha.
So you're seeing how they're setting up, and they actually shot it in an office, like the floor of an office space. And they had all these extras and like people like marching and crazy like monkeys and stuff, and the way it was. That movie was so strange. I know they were trying to portray the 90s, but it was like it just looked weird to me.
What movie?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh.
Did you like that one?
I wasn't paying attention to what was going on around him, I guess. I wasn't paying attention to the background or what was the set pieces, I guess.
Yeah.
Besides like the rich lavish houses and the office spaces, but I was more concerned about what he was doing, the story he was narrating. And
did you see Scorsese's newest one? The one on Netflix?
Which one?
The Irishman?
Yeah. Sorry. I was thinking Uncut Gems. I was like, I don't think so. But
yeah, that was not a Scorsese movie.
Not. But yeah, I did see
The Irishman. Did you think it was too long?
Not for my tastes, but probably a little bit longer than most people were willing to commit. I'm not sure people sat down and were like, oh, let's check the runtime and see if I have enough time for this movie. I don't think that deterred people. If most people were deterred, it would be like, I'm going to start this movie. Oh, I actually have to go do something else. I'm going to pause. We'll come back later or whatever, however much they left on.
I like that. I mean, usually they have to make all these cuts, and the director spends months and years trying to make the movie the way they want to. And you have someone like Tarantino, we've talked about before. They want to make. I mean, he literally shot 2 movies worth of footage and split it into Kill Bill 1, Kill Bill 2. in the editing room. Like that's the story of that. They want initially it was that'll be
How
you know,
long? How
just
long
one
between
movie.
releases was it? Do you remember?
I don't know. It's got to be less than a year though.
Hmm.
Yeah. But with The Irishman, it seems like with Scorsese, he has much more freedom to tell his story that he wants to
Yeah.
in
It's
3.5
the beauty
hours.
of Netflix, where they're like, "Here's your slot. You tell us what deal can we come to," and he's like, 2.5 hours, and they're like, "Okay." I guess.
But
right?
I had an interesting experience with that because I actually watched The Irishman in the theaters.
Okay.
Watched at the Enzian, and that was kind of long for a theater movie. Anytime you're sitting in the theater for 3.5 hours, because it's longer than that, right? I mean, everyone has previews and
Oh, that's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
So I mean,
It's
movies.
a whole day, a whole evening.
It was like 4.5 hours of sitting in the theater, like sitting in your seat.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. And I saw it in like a weekday night, so I was like, I gotta get up for work the
Yeah.
next day.
You're like looking at your watch at 11:30, like, how much longer is this movie gonna go on?
And I didn't think it dragged. In fact, I liked that entire story. It's kind of like what we just talked about. It's kind of like another mob story.
Right.
So, yeah. I usually don't like mob movies, but there's definitely been some good ones. So I would recommend The
You
Irishman.
don't like mob movies?
In general, they don't strike me as anything.
Original enough?
Yeah. I like kind of what we just talked about, but I like telling the story of actual like people and the humans in it, not the acts that they're doing. And I feel like some movies they try to get like a free pass or whatever, like we're gonna tell a crime story, so crimes happen. That doesn't make a movie inherently interesting that crimes are happening.
Right.
Because I'm watching it from like in the movie world, this isn't anything crazy. Like you can rob a bank, cool, or you can put the hit out on people. Like that's not the draw. The draw is good communication, good,
Dialogue, interesting stories, fun characters, likable characters.
all that
All the stuff we just had and what we just talked about.
extensively. Yeah. But
What have you been doing? Oh, wait, we don't care.
no,
We'll move on. Let's
No, I've been doing lots of stuff. I watched Mandy.
You said that already?
Yeah.
You probably repeat what you do pretty often during the day. Get on something, get off something, get on something, get off something, get on something.
I'm a switcher.
Yeah.
I switch.
You're a Switch.
I'm a switch.
Not a Nintendo Switch though.
No.
Because those are sold out.
My sister and brother and other sister all pooled their money together. They're all quarantined together at the house. And they bought a Nintendo Switch so they could play Animal Crossing.
Nice.
They said it's been fun.
Who's been playing? One person?
I think Isabella.
Isabella's playing and everyone else is just watching behind her back or what?
I think they all switch off or
Gotcha.
they didn't have a Switch before this, so they went
Right.
out and bought it.
Right.
And they're having a good time. They say it's fun.
Someone said Switches are sold out or being the prices are being jacked up because of Corona.
Really?
Yeah, it's because we can't fucking get any.
Yeah. I bought Amazon stock. It's already benefiting me.
Sweet.
Yeah. But all my other stocks, yikes.
Too late.
We just gotta hang on.
Need a escape rope for that one.
Yeah. I've been playing. I played Tomb Raider because I got it for free.
Speaking of free,
Assassin's Creed Origins. There's a giveaway.
got sitting over here on our giveaway
Anybody
shelf.
who's made
As
it this
soon as-
far into the video.
As soon as we get rid of this, we'll start getting rid of some of the other things that we have on our shelf to give away.
Yeah.
Plenty of shiny things over there, but Origins, come get it. Have you checked comments recently?
Yeah. I've been checking comments. No one is.
Refresh every day. First thing you do in the morning is check all your videos for comments.
I go, is anyone commenting? Because the rules are if you comment on any of our videos and say, I'd like that Assassin's Creed Origins.
Do they have that? Do
I
they even
will-
have to mention it?
If you want it, we'll give it to you. And first person, first come, first serve.
Any
So-
person will serve.
Yeah. Just anybody. Yeah.
Is anybody listening?
Yeah, but it's a lot of things, right? Like they gotta watch a new person's content. They gotta get this far in an hour, whatever, however much we are into this, and yeah,
for like
I started
45
read.
minutes.
I started to read Frankenstein.
By Mark Shelley.
Mary Shelley.
Mary Shelley.
Yeah. I think it was published in like 1816 or something. Yeah. From the Romantic time period.
Oh yeah.
In England. So.
Do you have it narrated by an English narrator?
No, I'm reading it.
Oh,
So in my brain, no, it's not an English narrator.
you don't read in English?
I read in American.
I just wanted that on the
That's-
airwaves.
It's a great book.
Reading in American.
I love it. Me and my girlfriend are reading it at the same time, so we have to just talk about it.
You guys started a book club in the quarantine, 2020 quarantine book club.
We gotta. I wish I had more motivation to like read lately. I've been sort of obsessed with like watching movies, watching some shows, playing video games, and it kind of just like once you're in that mode, you don't just switch over to like sitting
let's go
away from the computer.
Backwards in my entertainment
Yeah,
venue per se, because you're used to now you're kind of in a lethargic state of like I'll just consume content that I don't really have to put too much effort into. Whereas reading, it's like you start to read, and if anything lulls or it starts to lull, you're just gonna like get really drowsy or start to fall asleep or something. So it's hard to go back when you're
it's
engaged and not engaged.
other stuff is so much. It's so good at entertaining you.
Yeah.
Like playing a video game, like things are popping, things are happening.
It's way deeper than a book story-wise that can give you as far as immersion. So you're more inclined to play something that's more immersive, that you lose yourself easier. For me, at least.
I've been recording magic videos because I've been
Playing magic.
I've actually
Pulling magic out of
I don't know if
rabbits out of hats.
No.
Magic videos?
Magic the Gathering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, card game. I made like 3 videos called Drafting to Win, and they got like 150 views. Like I was pretty proud of that. I basically record there's drafting in Arena, and I record my draft and I talk through it and I pre-record all my footage of me playing through, and I'll take good runs and talk through them, and that's been fun because I kind of like learn, and I'm trying to help anyone who would be interested.
Yeah.
Who would be interested?
I've always heard that if you like educate, or if you're teaching someone or educating someone else, it helps reinforce the ideas and things that you need to learn for yourself as well.
If you can teach it.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
I mean.
and I'm not the best player, but if I'm getting like perfect runs or like 7 wins, or on paper that's pretty good. So the fact, like, I try to depersonalize it because I'm not like, oh, look at how awesome I am. It's not about that, because I'm not that great. I've just been doing this for a while, so I get to talk through my mindset.
Yep.
On this is why I chose this.
Check out my notches on my belt. Like, look what I've learned.
Yeah.
I got another notch on my roach killer.
Yeah, last night after we, I guess we didn't record the podcast. What? Let's get.
Yeah, we recorded a podcast yesterday and the day before that.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day we got content for days for you guys.
We're here slinging. Even though I just said it's been a week and a half since quarantine. And we have one more episode.
Hey, they keep making good movies.
Yeah, I have a nice little tidbit here.
Well, finish up the story with we had a roach.
Oh. Yeah, I just get to add another notch to my belt. I killed another one.
I'll upload
Decapitated. Yeah, look for that.
That
Coming
one.
soon.
Those things gross me out. But we get enough, like, we'll
You
get
want to hear Michael scream?
periodically.
Tune into the next episode.
Roaches in our apartment, and Corey takes out a knife that's probably not legal, and a machete, and you'll like run around the apartment, and you'll kill the roaches.
Why would it not be legal? Can
a
you
machete that big, I'm not sure is legal, but we do live in Florida, which is like
a right to carry state.
Yeah, you can have a gun, but you can't have a machete. I don't know. If someone doesn't like it, well,
shoot me a message.
They can talk to us.
I'll change it into something else. I'll shave it down to a smaller knife until it's regulation acceptable.
Yeah. But anyway.
I just wanted to give a news flash for everyone. The coronavirus is going to kill us all, so the movies that we have now, that's all we get. The rest of the movies that were supposed to come out this year, fucking canceled. So
everybody's canceled.
Can't record. I guess you can release the movies if they're ready to go.
If they're already filmed, but you can't like gather people together and start filming movies. Yeah. What made
Production.
you think of that? And say it.
Well, because I couldn't say it during our movie talk,
Yeah.
because I wanted to stay on track.
Got it.
Really focused.
Got it. All right.
But the cinematographer who did the movie that I already mentioned, Greg Fraser.
Yeah.
He's working on Dune.
Dune.
And
That's coming out.
The Batman. Well, the Dune. Sorry,
Got
not
delayed?
that Dune. Dune was supposed to come out this year, so I assume it will be delayed.
Looks like instead of a 2020 movie, it's going to be a 2021 movie.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the Batman is supposed to come out in 2021. That might get
How
pushed.
do you feel about Robert Pattinson being the Batman?
I have
Reservations?
I've delayed my judgment.
You've delayed your ejaculation.
Why would I be ejaculating?
I don't know. Isn't that a term?
Delayed ejaculation?
Yeah.
Alexa! She's asleep. She got corona'd.
Dumb bitch. She got corona'd.
Victim. A moment of silence for Alexa. 2018 to 2020. How long has she been alive?
Alexa?
2016.
Yeah. 4 years sounds right.
4 years. Weird accent coming out. Anything more interesting in my life? Nope.
I haven't
Been
been.
stuck inside for fucking.
I don't know how you can literally play Albion Line. Is that what you've been playing? Albion?
Albion online.
Albion Online with one of our friends. And how's that? Is it like an MMO?
It's a typical MMO gathering.
You like
fighting.
that? You're not bored by it? You were playing Path of Exile pretty hard for
Yeah.
a couple days.
I got a shitload of time to fill with a little bit of variance, but most of the time I usually do try to grind one thing until it's not fun. And if I need something to switch, then there's plenty of
What's
different
fun
options.
about an MMO? I've never been able to get into. I've tried so many. I tried World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14,
Well,
Guild Wars 2,
the middle word. You know what the middle word of an MMO is?
massive multiplayer online role-playing game or something like that.
That's MMORPG, yes.
Okay.
But MMO is massively multiplayer online. Massive multiplayer online. So the key aspect is the multiplayer. So talking with people, socializing, getting a guild, going out and doing activities together,
Yeah.
being on Discord or whatever. So that's the lure for me. I'm not going to play an MMO or any type of game where I have
Solo.
interactions with other people by myself. I always want to play with. I've always gone into a game because someone else has been like, "Yo, you want to try this out with me?" type thing. But if I'm playing by myself, then it's because I really enjoy the game, like Path of Exile, or it's a single player game and I've eyed it. A racing game called Dirt Rally.
Yeah.
It just came out for free on PlayStation Network. So
Oh, that's your next.
that's the next
I've been watching.
quarantine game.
So I've been watching. It's actually what kind of inspires me to do all this YouTube like stuff is watching other people that have good YouTube. Oh, excuse me.
Corona.
Snuck up on me. I thought I was gonna go away.
What are you looking for?
Like tissue or something.
You don't have any tissue in your room?
No.
You want me to pull this one out of the trash over here?
No, we're good.
Okay.
It's fine. Just deal with it. Anyway, try to edit that out. What was I just-
Whoa!
Oh, no, YouTube. So the reason I wanted to make like content YouTube and a show and make it fun and stuff because I like when other people do it for their
You're just
topics.
copying
that
other
they like.
people, or are you doing it because you want to?
No,
do it?
my own way.
Yeah.
You can't copy how everyone does it. You know, you got to inject your own thought process into it. So I watched this one guy who does Game Maker's Toolkit. And so he does like 10 or 15 minute videos he's a game developer from the UK. And he just has all these interesting ideas of like what health means in different games. And it makes me kind of inspired. Like he has how stealth mechanics work with different games. first-person shooters, what makes them boring, what makes them interesting. And he talked about Doom, which everyone has talked about, the fact that the mechanics of the game encourage you to run around and go towards the enemy as opposed to like staying behind cover and playing it really safe. Like if you play it safe in Doom, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Like you better be good at
You
running
get
around.
surrounded quick and get dead.
Yeah. So,
It's like Doom is like one of the best like FPSs ever. And
Yeah.
it kind of inspired
2016.
bullet time type games or like top-down shooters, so you know, dual joystick shooters, because that's what you're doing in Doom. So you got to keep a path clear in front of you so that your body is safe from things touching you, and you're just shooting whatever's in front of you when you go around clearing the screen. Because I remember one of my earliest memories playing on the original Xbox. No, it was like one of the first games for the 360 was Geometry Wars, and so it's like it's a twin stick shooter, so one stick controls movement, the other stick controls what you shoot. And the basic premise of the game is just finally understanding that like a strategy is to go in a circle, just go clockwise around close to the edge, not on the edge because they can spawn on the edge, but as long as you kept a path in front of you clear, you could keep moving in that direction. So it become muscle memory to move the joysticks in synchronization to keep yourself from dying from things touching you, but also keeping the path in front of you clear. No matter what's spawning behind you, no matter how fast they're coming, some things are faster than you, gotta dodge out of the way real quick. So all of that stuff, it's the same thing for Doom. It's like, shoot what's in front of you, clear the space, dodge, get out of the way, dodge the bullets.
Yeah.
But it's not the typical, like, Gears of War. Go up to this big barricade, sit behind it,
Like Call of Duty.
wait for the guy to peek.
Yeah.
All right, he's peeking. All right, aim out, move my cursor, shoot him type of thing. So just totally different pace. Obviously more enjoyable to the masses than to people who are just like wanting a first-person shooter.
Yeah. And I watch all this stuff and they get so in depth and it makes me like, oh, this guy likes video games so much. Like I've got some time on my hands now, so let's just play some video games. And I'm playing all sorts of different types.
Shitload of time.
Dude, I got too much time. I don't like this amount of time.
Yeah,
Like,
we're doing this show right now because you're bored of shit, and to give my wrist a break from the gaming.
From
today.
what?
From gaming today.
Okay.
I got the little red mark of death on your carpal tunnel. Corona.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I like 6 hours a day to do whatever I want, but if I get more than that, I'm like, okay, I've already done everything I want. Like, I must need some like hardship. Like, you gotta go out and do this. Or
I could write up a list of things you could clean in the apartment if you want. You want some work to do?
Might consider it. What's in it for me?
Not being bored by your 6 hours of entertainment.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say clean apartment. I was like, not good enough. Next.
I know. That's not. I know that's not intended for you. So.
Yeah.
You have to live in this cesspool.
I don't think our apartment's that dirty.
Florida's a cesspool.
Florida's a swamp.
See, I'm pretty sure a cesspool is a synonym of swamp.
Is swamp your favorite magic color? There's 5 colors of magic.
Yeah, but swamp's not a color. Black is one of my favorites. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think I like plains.
Because you're a plain Jane. Plain Jane like plains. Plains are what? White?
Plains are white.
You're also white, so that also...
It's nothing to do with that.
It's also cues up properly. That checks out.
I've been reading some graphic novels. I want to do some more sketchings, but I just haven't been inspired to draw anything lately.
There's nothing in this place to draw.
There's nothing. Yeah.
Stare out the window and see if you see anything.
Yeah, I like taking my sketchbook, going outside, walking around, and like just
You
randomly.
can walk around, right? Are we quarantined to our homes, or is it
I
social
haven't
distancing?
left. It's social distancing. Like I can run over to Crane's Roost, which is this place that's like a little park, and they have like it's around a lake, and it's right by where we live, and it's a nice spot. And I go out there and.
But you're allowed to, right? You're allowed to go out there and sit down.
They have signs that say, social distancing, but because you're allowed to leave your house to go exercise. But like today, I didn't leave at all. Neither you and I left. We just stayed in all day.
I haven't seen the sun in probably 72 hours.
That's not good for like your mental like health. I get
Well,
crazy if I don't see
the
the
story yesterday was that you were supposed to. I thought that I had told you, but we were both kind of drinking, and I thought, wake me up on Saturday when you wake up. I didn't get woken up. I also did not set an alarm as a backup.
So what time do you wake up?
I turned and looked at my phone, which what I thought was going to say 10:30, 10:45, 11ish, but it said 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah. Whoops.
Slept through that one.
Yeah, I've been keeping my schedule for the most part. I mean, I woke up at like 10:30.
If I woke up tomorrow and I went to work and someone asked me the date, I'd be like, March 20th.
Yeah. It feels weird.
Yeah.
I have to like I woke up and I was like, did I miss work? Am I supposed to because we're working from home. So it's just odd. It's like I don't
you kind of wake up in a panic like, it's 10 o'clock.
Well, I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah.
Because every day feels like the same. Like I wake up, put a t-shirt
make some
on,
coffee, take a shower, and sit at my desk. What are we gonna do today?
Yeah.
So it's good. I'm so thankful that we still have internet.
Yeah.
Still hold up. Paid for, ready to go for this month. We got games. We got movies. We got board games. We got card games. I mean, if we had a bigger spot, people could definitely come over here. Is that your phone? Sounds like vibrating. Your computer's vibrating the whole desk. Damn. She's running like a hot. Well, redacted. Sorry.
I read this
Edit that
really cool book one time. It was called House of Leaves, and I would highly recommend it. It
I think I've heard of that.
Mark Z. Danielewski, and it came out in early 2000s, I want to say. And this book is so interesting. You have to read it in like paperback or hardcover. Like you have to read a physical version. You can't go on Kindle and get it just isn't the same experience, because it's a book that's like layers within layers within layers. And I don't have it around or anything.
You said you were reading it.
No, I just read it in the past.
Oh.
I should go out and buy it. But it's like a story. A guy interviews another guy who wrote a journal, who got a letter, who watched a documentary about someone who gave an account of this story happening. So they've got like the credibility is not just on the author themselves. And the book is about this guy who buys a house and weird things start happening in the house.
Like Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah, it's like that level of weird. And it was just so entertaining.
I thought this was a book.
Nope.
It's going to showcase it for you, but it's an empty journal.
No. So, I hope anyone out there who's interested in like a kind of terrifying, chilling book.
Gives you shivers at some point.
It's creepy. It's creepy and well constructed, well crafted.
When's the last time you teared up at a movie?
Teared up at a movie, huh?
Notebook? When you went and saw it as a 12-year-old?
No. I don't cry during movies.
Yeah, I'm not talking that you're bawling, but when's the last time your eyes watered, you felt emotion during the movie? You were...
Probably when I saw Looper in theaters. How about that? You didn't expect that one.
No. I feel like that was a missed opportunity on the last episode.
Yeah.
That you guys are watching 20 minutes ago.
The chicas are watching.
The chicas are watching?
There are no chicas watching.
No, that's what... I didn't say chicas.
Oh.
I mean, hopefully there's chicas watching. There's one. Hi, Mom.
Your mom would get bored of this.
She made sure I was still here. She might be able to hear my voice while it's playing in the background in her bedroom, and she's downstairs in the kitchen.
Oh yeah.
It's a possibility. There's a distant possibility if the stars align that she might watch this.
I could beg my mom to watch this, and she'd go,
She won't.
nah. Hope you have fun. Like straight to my face.
Don't touch your face. Wash your hands.
I agree.
COVID.
COVID.
It's my favorite new word to say. Just rolls right off the tongue.
I heard there was a
COVID.
mom that had some twins during the current quarantine, and she named
What's
her twins.
that quarantine? COVID quarantine 2020?
She named her twins. The first one was Corona. The second one was COVID. Stupid, right?
Those will get changed soon. She'll regret it in
She'll
about
change
2
her
years.
mind. Yeah.
1 million people died and you
What?
named your daughter after
How
this.
long if you have a baby and you name the baby a name, can you like change it before it's like weird? With a dog, you can change it like 6 months. They'll just start. I heard with a dog that you can take like a 2-year-old and just start calling it something different,
Yeah.
and they'll just respond.
They're not responding to the name. They're responding to the sound.
Yeah, but they do pick up on their name after a while.
Yeah, but they're
There's a
picking
point
up.
5 years in, you can't change a dog's name. They won't respond in the same way ever.
I doubt that. If you change their name, if it was like Champ and you change their name to like Lamp, he'd still fucking respond the exact same way.
Those two, because those are pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But that's how you can't change it from Jonathan to Zachariah. Like maybe, but as soon
Yeah.
as the dog sees
That's what I'm
you
saying.
beckoning to it, it's gonna come whether you call Albert Einstein or Jesus. See how those are two polar opposites. I'd say 6 months is okay.
6 months. You
For
have
a
a
baby.
6-year-old infant. You could change the baby's name.
It depends on how many people coming into contact with this baby.
Yeah, if you got like grandparents and family, and you can't just go changing kids' names. You gotta get
Well,
it
as
right.
long as you didn't tell them. Well, yeah, I guess if I didn't have a name by the time 9 months went around, and I didn't have a name for when the thing popped out, I just wouldn't feel rushed. And I would just take my time and decide on a name that I thought was worthy. Maybe I waited for the size of his balls to come out. Decide what kind of name I wanted to give him. Does he have big balls? Because he have a big ball name? Big dick, big ball name?
VDE,
Big.
that big dick energy.
Yeah. I'm gonna make his name acronym BDE. I'll have to change my last name.
Your poor child.
I'm not gonna have children.
Yeah. How sure are you on that?
100. I almost said
100%.
99 just in case, but 100%.
Yeah. You just don't want them.
Nope.
Do you ever think you're gonna be like lonely when you're 55?
Yeah, I'll find a whore. Not a child. Why would?
You're like,
why
that's
would
how you fix that problem.
why
You
would a
just-
65-year-old want a child to keep him
No, you're
company?
fine. It's not about. It's about at 65 you have a 30-year-old or whatever.
Oh, fuck that. I'll just make some 30-year-old friends.
All right.
That's what I'll have.
Yeah.
Because
No.
I'm 30 in my head forever.
You'll probably have to live in a city in your 60s, right? You can't just live in the outskirts. So you can probably go to.
In the outskirts, what do you mean?
Well, if you can be the 65-year-old guy with no wife, no kids.
Oh, I have a wife.
Okay. You could be in a city that's like not that bad, but if you're in the suburbs or the like outside of a city, it's really hard to be like that single guy and interact with the community. That's am I on track there? That's sort of how I think about it.
I'm trying to avoid as many people. So I will be living on the outskirts, and I will not talk to anyone. Not my neighbors, not my mailman, not the grocery store clerk. Leave me alone. I'm 65.
All right, that's how you want to do it.
Quote me.
You're kind of a hermit. Is that a negative term?
No.
Right now,
Why
you
would-
stay in.
Hermit is a negative term?
Yeah, I don't mean it negative, but
Well, I don't care what you mean. Just the word hermit, people would assume is a negative term.
mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess it depends on how socially inept you are.
Yeah, you're not socially inept.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about it. Doesn't pay to worry about things you can't do anything about.
You know, in this life, we can all do things different ways. And
You know what? It also comes back. We're not going to be here when I'm 65 because we're going to all die next year. Corona.
yeah, there's people in their 30s that get this coronavirus and they go to the ICU.
You get dead. No respirator.
Yeah,
We're out.
yeah.
Ventilator.
I miss
Respirator.
ventilator.
Ventilator.
I miss F&M.
Friday Night Magic.
Yep, going out, seeing everybody, playing some Magic, getting pissed off at people without good social skills. I have to explain to them that's not how you speak to people. Sometimes you gotta do that. But most people I love.
Now it'll make you appreciate when you can go.
Yeah. I think all Magic events in person are gonna be canceled probably for the rest of the year.
For the foreseeable future, yeah.
Yeah.
For the rest of the year, we're still in April. But we're going to open it up by Easter, so.
That was what was being said like 2 weeks ago by our president, and it is not. I don't know when Easter, April.
That's like a
16th or
regular
something?
statement. Something was being said by our president 2 weeks ago, and now it is it has completely shifted into something else. You're like, never mind.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, he changed his position? Nothing. It's not new.
Yeah.
It's not as shocking as it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's about that time. 4 year and score. Four score. 4 score and what
7 years ago or something.
7 years ago. It's 47 years, right?
A score is 20.
20, so 87 years.
Yeah, I think Abraham Lincoln was describing the revolution that happened 90 years before.
I see. 4 score and 7 years. Interesting.
Because at the time that Lincoln was the 16th president, right? That's not a whole lot of presidents. And by the time he was making that statement, the country had been a country for like less than 100 years. Like, we're still figuring out how to do shit. We're still kind of like that. We're figuring out how to like deal with a virus.
Compared to the rest of the nations and all that stuff, we're still a little swaddling baby
Yeah.
next to England and France and Spain and China.
Yeah. For real. All those places have much
Thousands
longer
of
history.
years of dynasties, and we're over here like, I got all your money, bitch.
Yeah. I've been reading a book on it's this book, Understanding China. So it's kind of been interesting. John Bryan Starr, A Guide to China's Economy, History, and Political Culture. 3rd edition.
Interesante.
I'm halfway through it.
When was the last time you read that?
A couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
Might have been 2 months ago. I don't think I've picked it up since then, but it's really interesting. They just talk about the fact that China thinks that it's just like it there's cultural history for America, right? I mean, we have a culture that's lasted us, the American spirit, and you can come over here and immigrate, and your family can come over here, and it doesn't matter your background, and you can make it. And that's the American dream, right? That's been happening since the 1800s. And that's the feeling it doesn't matter who you are, that's what the country is. So China has similar things. They think that no matter what form of the government that they take, whatever China does is the heavens
Will.
and so whatever they do, it's correct in the end of it. And so that's why they're more, whereas Americans, the opposite of that, we don't think that our government and what we're doing, we think we could always do better and change it. And we think what they're doing currently is shit, like all the time. And so it's very individualistic. Whereas
It's like one of those things. It's like, oh, congratulations on your win. You got a big thing done here. You know, whatever cause you were championing. And then there's always someone behind you be like,
I can do it better.
well, not that you can do it better, but yeah, that was great. But here's where we can improve next time. That's like the typical.
And China is, that's why they're so okay. Like, small business owners are literally all right on the majority for the Communist Party to come in, like this gang, like this mob that comes in wielding the power from cities to local farm owners and saying, I need 20% on top of the taxes you pay to pay for this thing and start this operation. Why? Because it's for the good of the region, the good of the people. And
They build mega structures, a whole city, and then forget to populate it.
if you look at Beijing in the 90s, everyone was riding bikes, and there was a one-child policy, and they said literally families are going to change. You can't have more than one child. And then by 2008, they had changed the entire infrastructure, because I think that's when the Olympics were, 2008. That people aren't on riding bikes, and there's less population. Like, they planned this shit out for like 15, 20 years in the future,
Yep.
30 years. And then they restructured the city and made it more like easier for cars to get around and stuff, to travel around, and public subway systems and all this shit. Like, very good planning on a city level. That in America, for American cities, we have certain innovators that help. Like, Elon's trying to make all this crazy shit in LA. He's trying to reduce the traffic by underground construction and getting your car to go underneath the ground and automated driving with the Tesla. So we have innovators like that. But on China, it's like a national level. They said, we're going to clean up the streets of Beijing, get these bikes out of here, and we're going to change how everything looks, the stoplights, the...
Total redo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everyone was on board with it. And it doesn't matter if you are the dissenter, get out of here. Like, this is the will of heavens that China's going to be.
The wind has spoken.
It's a little bit. It's a lot of mystical in that way. So that's the kind of stuff I'm learning. I'm getting some details wrong, and I'm sure I'm summarizing a lot of chapters, but he goes into the statistics
I
and
have a friend who would defer with you, probably.
Defer. You defer, so you'd let me win.
Yeah.
What? How would your friend differ?
No, I just know someone who would.
What would they say?
They'd be at F&M with you, and you guys would be talking about China and America and the great clash of democracy versus communism.
Yeah.
The C word.
No, I like our country. I'm less inclined to travel the past couple of years. Be nice to go see another country, but I definitely don't want to live anywhere else.
Yeah, you were busy making America great again by not going anywhere.
Well, currently right now with this whole COVID thing.
Because all the great Americans, that's what he wanted. He didn't want any of our great Americans to be leaving the United States. He wanted them to stay here so that the great Americans would make America great again.
Have you heard any good coronavirus conspiracy theories?
No, I haven't heard stories from anyone except on the screen.
Do you watch the news? How do you...
The news?
Yeah. No.
That's a watch.
I watch YouTube, like Trump giving the presidential announcements and coronavirus updates. I watch Cuomo, the governor of New York, and I watch a couple minutes of his daily updates, and I watch a couple people that, like David Pakman on YouTube. He's a good guy, and he has his own independent news channel. He's kind of left-leaning, but he's a smart guy. He's like 36 years old, so he's not knees deep in the political, Fox News or CNN or anything like that. But I will watch some of those. MSNBC, like they have clips on YouTube. I'll keep up with that. And then Twitter on my phone. Usually you could see news. You see what's trending, and then you can always read 5 or 6 articles. What's going on?
Cool.
So, but you're not into any of that.
Nope.
You just don't. You're focused on what's in front of you, and you don't care about the outside world in the same way.
It's gonna happen.
What kind of stuff do you care about?
My peanut butter and jelly sandwich that I'm about to make after this.
Hey, that's
staying hydrated, wash my hands.
That's good.
What time I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and do the same thing I did today.
Yeah.
That's what I'm focused on. No, but I'm not one of those people who just has all kinds of stuff going on. If I am bored or done doing what I want to do, then all right, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go watch something singular. My phone's not on. Watch a movie. Put on a show. I'm focused on whatever is happening.
Yeah.
So singular focus versus just an entourage of things in front of me.
I can definitely see the upsides of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the downside for me and how I look at everything is like I get scatterbrained. I can't focus on one thing at a time, you know?
Right.
You're pretty good about doing that. You want to wrap this guy up?
I always wrap it up.
Good. All right. See you guys on the next episode. If you guys ever have movies that you like, drop a comment and say, Killing 'Em Softly was good.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and
Check out our
subscribe it
Patreon channel,
if you
our
like the content.
Instagram channel, our Twitter account, our Facebook account, our personal accounts. I'll put out my number in the description. Send me a sweet something text. We're also taking Chipotle and Subway cards. And if you want to donate any water or supplies, we'll put our address up too. Just come rob us.
You won't find much. Okay. Good episode. See you guys next time.
Thanks, guys. Anal.